where it was just maddening. Everywhere you go, Ukraine flag, all the businesses are changing their like brands and their signs to put the Ukraine. It was really sickening to see. But I'm wondering what did people you spoke to think about what's happening in the U.S. and Europe?
Well, let me start by saying this: the United States has imposed, together with Europe, massive sanctions on Russia, and the purpose of that was deliberately to bring harm to the Russian people, to bring about economic collapse, to cause people to lose their jobs, their livelihood, to cause Russian infrastructure to crumble, to cause problems. And had that happened, Americans would be high-fiving themselves. Oh, yeah, man, we did it. We made the ruble rubble, baby. We brought down the Russian. High five. Let's get a beer. Hey, America's great. We made the Russians feel pain. Aren't we good people? So now, the Russians didn't start off to bring pain to Europe or to the United States. It's never been their objective. But because of the sanctions boomeranging back on Europe and the United States, there are problems. And I will tell you this, not every Russian, all Russians are upset about this. They're not happy about this. Some of them are like, well, you brought it on yourselves. We didn't want this, but you brought it on yourselves. We're sorry this is happening to you. Some Russians cry. They feel bad about this. They don't feel guilty about it, but these are people that are so damn human, that when they hear about what's happened, they get emotional. They feel pain. They have empathy. They have sympathy. These are just damn good people. Damn good people. There's no Russian doing a jig, gloating over the fact that the Germans are paying high energy prices, that German workers are losing their jobs, that Americans are getting punished at the pump, etc. I didn't meet a single Russian who was like, oh, yeah, baby. The Americans are feeling the pain. We're happy. None of that. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm sure somewhere in Russia, there's people that dance a jig when they hear that America feels pain. And yeah, to be honest, I can't blame them. But every Russian I met, maybe because they were meeting an American and they didn't want to display maybe their truth. But I always felt that they're very open. The one thing I'll tell you about the Russians is they're an open damn book. Now, that book will stay closed for the longest time because they're a little reticent and all that stuff. But when they decide to sit down and get to know you, that book comes open. And they're like flipping through all the pages. This is who I am. This is who we are. So the Russians that I dealt with, they came down and they opened up the book, and people cried about what's happening here. They were sorry. They were emotional. They didn't want it to happen. They don't want it to happen. This is just the God's honest truth. The Russians are not gloating over pain being brought. And one of the reasons why is that the Russians know pain. You see, in America, now, you and I know we have people that know pain. Look at the army of homeless that exists in this country. Look at everybody who's living paycheck to paycheck. I was trying to explain to the Russians. I said, you guys think that I'm an American and I'm wealthy, and I can show you a photograph of my house, and you see two cars in the driveway, and you're like, wow, you're doing good. And I'm like, wow, I'm not doing good. I am 2 missed paychecks away from losing everything. Everything. The bank will take my house. The bank will take my cars because I'm paying car payments. I'm paying the house. I'm in debt up to here, as every American is. And I am 2 missed paychecks away, sometimes only 1 missed paycheck away from losing everything. This is stressful being American. Health insurance. If you're lucky enough to have an employer that provides it, it's literally the premiums are doubling every year. And what you're getting for this doubling is less. They reduce the benefits, they double the premiums. But imagine somebody who bought into Obamacare. You can't afford Obamacare because Obamacare requires you to have $5,000 to $10,000 in the bank to pay if you get hospitalized to make that payment, because otherwise you couldn't afford the payment for Obamacare to get the platinum program. Can't afford it. Most people end up buying minimum level, which means that they have deductibles that they can't afford if they actually get sick. That's the reality of America. Student debt up the yin yang, all debt up the yin yang. And so people are under the perception that, everything's easy here. It ain't easy here. It's hard in America. It's hard to be an American to sustain what we have. But the Russians, when they learn about this, they're shocked. They're shocked. They're like, wait a minute. What about all this prosperity? I said, it's artificial. We're in a consumer society where we fake ourselves out by continuing to buy. But most of the time when we continue to buy, we accrue more debt. So that puts more pressure on us. And then to feel better about it, we have to go out and buy that next Xbox, or I guess it's called an Xbox still, the PS5. Is it a PS5? I don't know because I don't do it, but my daughter does. So, you got to keep up with the Joneses. You got to get the new, iPhone, whatever. But again, to get it, you go more in debt, which means that paycheck issue becomes a bigger paycheck issue. I'm not saying the Russians don't have economic difficulties. They do, but they don't live under the constant fear of losing their home, losing their jobs, losing health care, being unable to go to school, because that's not how Russia works. It's a pretty good place to live. I'm not going to go live there because I'm an American. I belong here in America. My job is to fix my country. I love my country. But I'm honest enough to say that the quality of life in Russia is decent. It's getting better. And it goes beyond simple consumer-driven things. See, Americans tend to judge quality of life by what we own, what we've acquired. Russians judge quality of life by quality of life, meaning, can I go out with my friends? Can I take a vacation? Can I just stroll the streets and look at, go through a park without worrying about being mugged? Go to a museum and enjoy the history. That's quality of life for the Russians. And most Americans don't have that because we're working long hours. We come home, we eat, we go to bed, we get up, we go back, we work long hours. That's our life. So the quality is what we can get, what we can buy based upon that labor to give us, cheap thrills or whatever. But we don't take the time to actually stop and smell the roses, as that old country and western song went. The Russians do. The Russians smell the roses every single day.